What's up YouTube, it's Louis here bringing you today's cryptocurrency video. We're going to take a look at Firo, but before we get into that, thank you so much for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. It means the world to me. This is something that I've been dreaming about for many years, even before I got into trading. Like, I just wanted to be a YouTuber in the future, but I just didn't know what to do. And of course, along the way I found my passion for trading, and of course now with trading I can literally bring out videos for you every single day. So thank you so much for always coming back, for always supporting the channel, and for all the lovely comments I've been getting over the last few days. Perfect, let's get into Firo. Oh yeah, also don't forget I'm going to do a 1,000 subscriber giveaway in my crypto course. Details will follow in the next coming days. Perfect. So on the daily time frame, where I've measured this retracement, basically, how do I know? So we've had this pump and then we've retraced before continuing. So for us to continue and break the high over here of $25, the one, we need to see key levels hold, which are the fib levels. The fib levels are basically key levels of support and resistance, or major key levels of support and resistance. And when you lose certain fib levels, you head to ones below, especially if you hit your head. So if we just take a look at the daily time frame, we can see that the 382 right now, today, we had a massive pump back to the 200 EMA. Let's zoom in. So we had a massive pump today to the 200 EMA and have now got rejected. We'll look at this on the closer time frames. So I'll give more clarity on that, but at the moment you are hitting your head on the 382, so there's a higher chance that you do now come back down to retest this pink line, which I was speaking about in my last Firo updates. But also, because you're hitting your head on the 382, it makes sense that you go to the other fib level just below it, the 236, and I want to see $5 hold. We could come to the pink line over here, hold that, but actually wick down to this before holding this and working our way back up through the fibs, basically. So we're going to take a look at the 4 hour right now to see if we are going to have further downside to the 236, or are we just like trying to bottom out, and is this wick just a massive wick before hitting the resistance points, before retracing and then eventually continuing and breaking them. So right now you see, obviously we had this symmetrical triangle, or this horizontal triangle, and with that it's a continuation pattern most of the time. Of course it can break to the upside. So let's say you broke out right here, your technical target was actually, when you broke out here, your technical target was $9.58, sitting at these resistance points right over here. However, once you broke out, what do we need to see? We need to see this line, this resistance point, back tested as support. And you can see when you came back down to here, because you didn't back test it when you broke out, that's when you back tested it, but you actually lost it, you closed below. So when you close below a resistance point, it's highly likely that you're going to come to support, and this is the support, the ascending support. So this is what we should have seen held, and you can see the wicks were telling us that this was being held. We were down here and the bulls pushed it all the way back above the 55 EMA. But the thing is, you were in this pattern, right? And this pattern is a continuation pattern. And where did we come from? From the upside. So we've come down, gone into the pattern, and no matter how many breakouts we have, see, we broke out over here, which means we should target over here. You didn't meet the target, you broke back down, you came to support eventually over here. Broke back out over here, came back to support. Broke out here, but you failed to hold it, came to support again. And because this is a bearish continuation pattern and you keep breaking back into it, it's highly likely that you're going to break to the downside, because it's a bearish continuation pattern in this case, because you come from the upside downwards, gone sideways, and then continue your trend, basically. So your technical target out of that has been met at $5.88, and that is below this line over here, which is that larger 382. So because you lost the 382, that's why we're seeing further downside. And if we do roll over more, I've given you this pink line slash the 236 as a key level of support that we must see hold. So I'm going to measure this retracement over here. I'm going to ignore that huge scam wick over here. So this was our swing low to swing high. So what, for the fibs to work as usual, you want to get to the 0, retrace to the 618 before continuing your trend. But if you do lose that 0618 sitting at $7.41, you create something called a reversal wave, where at the 1 you could actually double bottom like this, okay? But if you do lose the 1, you have targets to the downside, as we always know. And look at that for some amazing confluence, guys. Let's move this to the downside. You can see that once you lose your 1, your minimal target is the 1618, okay? And if you do lose that and hit your head on it, there's higher chances that you're going to come down to meet these lower down targets. But in this case, although you would target the 2414, the 2 is sitting at that larger 236, also the pink line. So if you ever lost that 1618, I would expect the 2 to come in, hold up, and then work our way through the fibs. Once you're above the 1, once you're above $6.66, the devil's favorite number, 666, once you're above that, you basically finish the dip. Basically, if you hit your head on it, you're going to higher likelihood to lose that 1618, hit your head, and then come to the 2. Worst case would be down there, but because of all the confluence in this zone over here, I would think that the 2 would hold up, because you have the 236, the 2, and the ascending support. Worst case is of course down here, but I'm just saying because of all the confluence, I'm saying in and around here. So as long as you're staying above this, you won't see further downside to this. But we do need to remember that we are below this line over here, which is your 382. So if you keep hitting your head on that, which is lining up, tying up in with the 1, if you fail to get above these 2 levels over here, then there is a chance you roll over. But you could come back to the 1618 and double bottom and then work our way through. So it's all about holding that $5.59 area. So let's take a look at the 1 hour time frame now. Boom. So I'm going to delete these fibs because there's some more fibs that we need to put on. Looking at this dip over here, so I'm not measuring from the top of the dip over here. I'm just going to look at this area, because we're now, as you can see, potentially bottom down here, and you have a high here. You've just made a higher high. What are we doing here? Higher low, sitting on the 20 EMA on the 1 hour exactly. So the reason why we have a massive wick over here is because we don't usually break an EMA on the first attempt. If you do, it's highly likely that it's going to be a fake out. So of course we were up here, and that's the first touch of it. So that's why we've come back down, and now we're coming to key levels of support, the 20. So if this holds, it's beautiful. What I can see at the moment is you're potentially creating an inverse head and shoulders pattern, which is a bullish reversal pattern. If you're in a bear trend, this is going to be a bullish reversal pattern. You're flipping the bearish trend back into a bullish trend. If you see this in an uptrend already, where you've made a high and you're just forming a higher low and you form an inverse head and shoulders, it's just a bullish continuation pattern. But we were in this downtrend, and that's where you formed that, and then now you're flipping the trend here. Can you see that? So in this case, bullish reversal, in some cases bullish continuation. But because we're at this bottom right now, this potentially a bullish reversal pattern. So this technical target would be, I'm going to ignore this because once you broke out, you didn't backtest this for support, you just dropped straight back below. Same with here, you got above it, lost it. So I don't know if that's the true resistance, and this as well over here. So that's why I've drawn it through these points over here, because this is where you had your wick. So that's why it's telling me that's the resistance. Why? Because you have the wick exactly there and the 55. So that's why I'm not drawing the line like this. I'm not drawing the line like this. I'm drawing it like that basically. So I'm getting more touches as support and as resistance, sorry. So your technical target would be from the lowest point back to the neckline, and only once you break the neckline is this valid. Until then, you're not going to meet this target. And look at that for amazing confluence. That's taking us to that larger 382, which we've been talking about, to stop further downside to this line, the 236. And that takes us to the 200 EMA. So we've got like 3 reasons why we're going to come round to this zone, but only if you break the neckline. Remember, if you don't break the neckline, you're not heading up here. So it's all about breaking that neckline, guys. And that technical target is at $6.91 basically. If you don't break above this, then there's higher chances you're going to roll over, and that's where we could meet our 236 down here, where the 2 was, where the 236 and that pink ascending support basically. So let's get the fibs out now. So I'm going to measure from here to the low. Beautiful. Look where that 0.5 is, $6.02. Where is that sitting at? Exactly on the 20 MA, exactly where you found support. So this could be a key level of support, a significant key level of support for us if we want to keep going up. This is the first step in it. So you found your low, you've got above the 382, you haven't back tested it yet, so that's why if you roll over here, could even find support here before breaking it, or remember the roll over down to here. But as long as we get a hold this 050, which we have at the moment right here on the 20, and back test the 618 as support, we will head to the 1618. So that's way up here at $7.58, which is way above that larger 382, which we're waiting on getting above over here. So that would invalidate further downside because you're breaking back above this low point over here. And so hopefully we could confirm that support once we reach that target like this, boom, where the 200 EMA is right now. And then after that we would continue to these higher up fib levels basically. But until then, until you break above the 0618 and the pink trend line, then I'm not seeing that because you're below it. So this is not in play yet. Once you get above the 0618, the 1618 is in play, and so is this target. With this wick, when you broke above the 55, remember we don't break it on the first time. Usually it becomes a fake out, which we see over here, because you were all the way up here and then you closed all the way down here, showing you that the bears push you all the way down. So the bears at the moment are still in power basically, but we have found the reversal chart patterns that are going to take us higher basically. So I hope you understood this video. We need to break above that neckline to validate this pattern. Until then, we could still continue down. I've given you your bearish targets. I've given you your bullish targets. Thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for always coming back and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, comment your opinions, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.